Welcome, my dear students. We are continuing Chapter 11 Force and Pressure. Today, we are going to discuss about the contact force and non-contact force. First is about contact force. For contact force, interaction between object is necessary. Force that comes into action after the interaction between object is called contact force. Contact force works on the point of contact. Muscular force, friction force are the types of contact forces. Examples: pushing a car. So the wheels and the tires are comes to contact each other. Hitting the ball. So in that case, the ball and with the object which we use to hit will be comes to contact. Example: if we use the ball hit with the bat, so the surface of the bat and the ball surface will comes to contact each other. Kicking a ball, so in that case also the ball surface and our foot surface will comes to contact each other. So in the case of contact forces, mainly two types, that is muscular force and frictional force, we will discuss now. Muscular force, it's an example for contact force. Force due to action of muscles is called muscular force. We can say force resulting because of actions of muscles is called muscular force. Muscular force is applied only after interaction with the object. Examples: when we push the object like school bag or lift the bucket of water, we use the muscular force. Animals also use of muscular force to carry out their task. You can see the figure. Some people are doing tug of war. So the hands and the tags are comes to contact each other. Through the hands, they are applying the muscular force towards the war. Then same way, another one example is given here. Bullocks, which pulls the bullock cart. So this animals is also applying muscular force towards the rod. So that's why they can able to pull the cart. So all these cases, human as well as animals are applying a muscular force that will be connected with another surface. That is why we call it as, it is an example for a contact force. Another one particular contact force is friction force. The force of friction arises between the surfaces of two objects. The force of friction always acts on all moving object and its direction is always opposite to the direction of motion. Force of friction comes into action only after interaction between two objects. Thus, it is a type of contact force. Example: due to force of friction between the surface of the wall and the ground that brings the movement of wall to rest. When we stop pedaling a bicycle, it gradually slows down and finally comes to stop due to force of friction. Now you can see two figures are given there. In the first figure, a man tries to walk. So he is applying a force towards the ground that is opposite to the direction of normal contact force. At the same time, a friction force is developed in between the surface of the food and the surface of the floor. It helps him to walk smoothly. So we can say that friction force is one of the agents which helps us to walk. In the second figure, two boys are trying to push the box. So, before it starts to move, a frictional force is already developed in between the surface of the floor and the box. So when they tries to push, they need to overcome this frictional force. Then only they can able to move forward. So here also two objects are comes to contact with each other. In between the surfaces, the friction force develops. Next is about non-contacting force. Force due to without interaction between two objects is called non-contact force. Magnetic force, electrostatic force, and gravitational force are examples of non-contact force. For example, a magnet can pull an iron nail from a distance. So, when the magnet pulls the nail, it exerts force on the nail. But when it applies the force, this magnet and the nail did not come in contact. But even though the magnet is applied force on the nail, that is why magnetic force is an example for non-contacting force. Now we are going to see the magnetic force. It is a non-contact force. A magnet can exert a force on another magnet without being in contact with it. The force exerted by a magnet is an example of a non-contact force. Example: opposite poles of two magnets attract each other and same pole repel each other. So when they attract or repel, it doesn't contact. So in this case, magnetic force is applied without any contact to each other. So we consider it as a non-contacting force. Electrostatic force. It is another example for non-contact force. When a charged body exerts a force on another charged or uncharged body, it applies attractive or repulsive force, and it is called as electrostatic force. A charged body attracts an uncharged body. A positively charged body attracts a negatively charged body and repels a positive charged body without coming in contact. Thus, it is a non-contact force. Gravitational force. This is another non-contact force. Gravitational force is exerted by Earth, Moon, Sun, and other planets to others. Earth and other planets attract all objects towards them. Since Earth attracts all objects even without coming in contact, thus gravitational force is a non-contact force. Example: when we release an object from a height, it falls over the ground because of gravitational attraction of Earth. And the gravitational force is responsible for the weight of the objects. With this, we are ending the today's portions. Thank you. Stay at home and stay safe.